Brady Forrest from O'Reilly. I can't get away with that? Oh. So welcome to Ignite. The entire idea behind Ignite is 20 slides, 15 seconds each. So it's either 5 minutes of an absolutely enthralling talk, or it's only 5 minutes. Our first speaker tonight, Pamela Fox, talking about something very interesting.
So to start off with, let me clarify, I am not a vegetarian, as you can see from how ravenously I can consume whole turkey legs. However, I know a lot of vegetarians, and most of them don't like vegetables. They're usually pastatarians, or in my brother's case, he was a Twinkie-tarian, so I call myself a vegetable-tarian. Now, the sad thing is, 1 year ago, these were the only veggies that I ate, right? I can fit them on one side. Lettuce, tomatoes, carrots, green peppers, really boring, right? And as a kid, we actually lived on a backyard with like 13 gardens in it, but I thought they were just decoration, right? If you asked me, I would have said that vegetables were gross, right? I said that broccolis were like the alveoli in your lungs. I was like, why would you want to eat your lungs? And that mushrooms are these slimy, foul creatures. And I never actually bothered to taste any of them to see if these were true. I just knew I was right. But then I found out I was overweight and decided I needed to start eating less bad carbs and more good carbs like veggies. So I ate these things which for 25 years I considered inedible, and I discovered they were actually kind of awesome. So I'm going to share some favorites today. But we're all geeks, so we have to get geeky questions out of the way. What's the difference between fruits and vegetables? So fruit is actually a scientific term, and it means something that develops from the ovary of a plant. Ovaries. But screw science, right? In the real world, fruit is the sweet part and veggie is the savory part, right? Now the real world varies per country, of course. So in Brazil, they think of avocados as fruits because they use them in their desserts and their shakes. In America, we consider avocados to be vegetables because we use them in salads and dips. And I just think of them as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, you guys are all thinking, what about tomato? Now, luckily, the Supreme Court settled for us in the 1893 case of Nix versus Hedden. They ruled that the tomato is legally a vegetable, but acknowledged that it is botanically a fruit. But today we'll talk about really vegetables, none of the borderline shit. So any savory, edible part of a plant, there's a lot of different parts: leaf sheath, seeds, roots, buds, stem, shoots, sprouts, stems, leaves, flower buds, bulbs. Not that I really know what any of that means, but pictures. So let's start with an ugly but a goodie, celery root, right? It comes from a relative of celery, but it's grown for this crazy looking bulb, and it's pretty much the scariest vegetable I've ever seen. Like if they ever make a horror movie about vegetables, this one would be in the closet at night scaring your children. But it's really tasty. So once you manage to chop off its mutated hairy limbs, you can use the flesh pretty much everywhere you use potato, like creamy soup, or my favorite, celery root hash browns. And once you do that, you can never look a potato in the eye or eyes again, knowing that it has a better alternative. Speaking of root veggies, another favorite, spaghetti squash, right? Once you bake this up, you can start scraping the insides with a fork, and you get these spaghetti-like strands that go great with marinaras or pestos. Pretty much everything that spaghetti goes great with. It's almost evidence of intelligent design. Now, another reason to love root veggies is that they're a workout to peel and chop them up, right? So you might think that my massive muscles are due to the CrossFit I do every morning, but it's actually due to the veggies that I chop every night. Another versatile veggie is a cauliflower. I thought it was just an albino broccoli, nothing impressive. But then I found out it's the ultimate substitute, right? So I make pizza crust with cauliflower. I have mashed cauliflower instead of mashed potatoes, and I have cauliflower sushi rice. Now, if that doesn't impress you, here's a cauliflower variant that would warm any geek's heart. This is the Romanesco broccoli. The buds form meristems in a logarithmic spiral. So it's basically a fractal, right? It's awesome. Now, you guys probably think I'm a veg evangelist and I can say no wrong about veggies, so let me warn you about a few of them, right? So red beets are red root. They can add color to your meal, but for 10% of the population with bacteria, they can also add color to your bowel movements. Another thing to watch out for, asparagus, speaking of bowel movements. It's often called an aphrodisiac because it looks like a green penis. But all of us, when we eat it, we produce foul-smelling urine, but only 25% of us can actually smell that urine. So you have to do 23andMe analysis of your dates to find out whether you should eat it. Another thing we have is keratosis, right? The orange coloration of the skin due to overconsumption of carrots. This doesn't usually happen to adults, but it does happen to some babies that get overfed orange mush, and some celebrities too. So enough of that stuff. So how do we get more fresh local veggies in our life? One way is to grow them yourself in your backyard, in the community garden. A lot of San Francisco hippies do a lot of growing indoors. We have a mushroom log under our bed. But my favorite way is to subscribe to a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture. It's a local farm which delivers fresh seasonal veggies to you every week. And I love it because I get surprised by new veggies every week that I've never heard of, and I also get to hear about tales from the farm about their little cat named Radish. So anyway, if you haven't accepted vegetables into your life yet, look deep into your stomach and do it. And then every week, pick a new veggie, Google it, find out how it'll affect your bedroom and your bathroom life, and then try and forget all that and just eat it and enjoy it. And remember, bacon, broccoli, programming.